Nobody gets you ready for Utah football more than the KSL Sports Zone.
Ready?
Kyle Whittingham and the Utes hit the road to Waco for a showdown against Baylor. Your home for the best coverage of Utah football is right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. You're locked on to JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Yes, November 10th. American side. Wisconsin. Hey, listen. So, I don't know if you know the story. Because our Gen X or Gen, what are you? Gen Z producer, I think Z. I don't know what letter we are. Our Gen Z producer, Alex Napolis, is like, the Edmund who? What? That's one of my favorite back and forths on Seinfeld, by the way, when Elaine goes, what's the name of that ship that went down? Yeah, the Edmund Fitzgerald. Oh, I love Edmund Fitzgerald's voice. No, the singer was Gordon Lightfoot. She's like, I don't think that's right. He goes, yeah. Okay. And he said something like, yeah, and he got run starboard by by Garfunkel or something like that. Art Garfunkel. Anyway, by the end of it, the Edmund Fitzgerald went down, and Lake Superior is mean this time of year. Is basically what the idea is. This is like the Titanic of cargo ships in the Great Lakes region. Okay, the Edmund Fitzgerald. And there's still mystery to this day as to how it went down, but all 30 on board went down. No, they say that 30 know the tale, 29 and God, and none of them are speaking. So this whole song, Alex Napolis, is a tribute to the Edmund Fitzgerald. Kind of tells the whole story, right, of the 29 who went down that day.
He's so interested in what you're saying right now.
50 years ago today,
Look
Napolis.
how interested Napolis is in what you're saying right now. Our listeners are so enthralled by this.
I love this freaking guy. I love this story. I am absolutely enthralled by stories like this.
Is Gordon Lightfoot still with us?
Oh, you mean the guy that looks exactly like Bryan Cranston and Chris Pratt had a baby? Yeah. Look at a picture of Gordon Lightfoot.
You think he's still with us?
Oh. He's no longer with us?
He's gone down with the...
well, then he knows the story too, then. The Edmund Fitzgerald?
Yeah.
Okay, what happened?
He passed away in 2023.
Oh, 23.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Canada still mourns the loss of one of their great singer-songwriters.
Yeah,
Gordon
listen.
Lightfoot.
So, Napolis, just so you know, I mean, it's
You know what his name? He was Canada's Bard.
Oh, it was?
That's his name.
Gordon Lightfoot is that's a classic name.
He's a poet.
Yeah, the Edmund Fitzgerald went down 50 years ago today in Lake Superior. And that's a lake that the locals call Get Your Goomy. So there you go. I like being able to teach our producer some of these history lessons. You know what I mean?
It's important that the younger generation learns these things.
Tomorrow's Veterans Day. You need me to explain that to you too? Freaking grow up, man.
Just for that, you don't get tomorrow off.
Oh yeah, we were going to give you tomorrow off for Veterans Day, but you didn't know it was even coming, all right? Welcome back to the program. JJ and Alex, 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone. Yes, 50 years ago, the Edmund Fitzgerald went down in Lake Superior. May they all rest, all right? JJ, let's kick off the hours we always do with the cut. Let's jump in right here.
It's time for the biggest story of the day. This is what made the cut with JJ and Alex on 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
All right, Doug Smith brings you this portion of the program. Incredible selection of Kia, Subaru, Chevy, Jeep, Dodge, or Ram. All, of course, in the American Fork, Spanish Fork, and Linden locations of the Doug Smith dealerships. Nobody knows cars like Doug, so check it out. Let me see here. This weekend in college football, it's just the stakes keep getting higher and higher. And if you're to look at kind of how this thing is shaking out, watching how teams and how conferences, I'm telling you, the bad teams get good this time of year, right? We've seen it happen a bunch. The bad teams get good this time of year. They show up to play their opponents hardcore because they can ruin conference opponents' weeks or seasons, rather, right? This is something that BYU could fall susceptible to. Utah has no room for error anymore the rest of the way as they go along. And every team that they face is a conference opponent that can on any given Saturday show up and go, you thought you could just roll past us, right? Ask BYU about Kansas last year. Ask every other team at the top of the league last year about Kansas this time of year.
They wrecked a lot of people's
They
hopes.
did. They're like the Gales of November on Lake Superior.
Yeah.
See what I did there? We'll call back to the old Edmund Fitzgerald.
Well done.
Okay. And this is the time of year they like to pop up. They love to be able to ruin seasons for teams because their season is essentially over. But they also have bowl games that are on the line, teams that they have to, or guys that they want to be able to keep around. If your team is by far done, or more importantly, JJ, and an even more kind of strange twist to all this, guys want to put nice tape together for when in a month from now they're able to hit the transfer portal.
Yes.
Isn't that a weird thought? That
They're playing for their next school.
They're playing to put tape together.
You know what? If that makes college football better, great.
So be it. If parity gets better this time of year because there are a bunch of guys.
I want carnage. I want chaos. I love it.
I want some kid to be so upset about playing at the school that he's at that he plays his heart out.
I want Pitt to beat Notre Dame in a couple weeks.
Oh, my goodness.
I want chaos.
Give it to me. So college football right now, Texas A&M, boy, they look legit. Indiana, of course, I thought that they were done for. When that last touchdown by Penn State was scored, I thought, this is how it works. This is how it works. Why would you absolutely sleep on a team in State College, Pennsylvania? Why would you sleep on Penn State? They have all the same talent, minus, an injured quarterback and a couple of guys here and there. They're playing for pride at this point. Beating an Indiana team could have absolutely at least turned their attitudes around a little bit, right? Made people feel a little bit like their season's going better. Plus, like I said, maybe you're trying out for Coach Cignetti,
Yeah.
Instead, Indiana escapes, and there's going to be a couple of these the rest of the way, JJ, teams that have no business hanging with another team, and they either can get it done and they get the upset. We saw it this weekend in the ACC. Wake Forest has no business going into Charlottesville and beating Virginia, and they did it. Louisville loses. As soon as you start to take them seriously just a little bit, teams start to fall off. The question is which ones are the ones that are going to be able to bounce back? Texas A&M is really good. My whole life, JJ, I've laughed and lamented about Texas A&M. How
we all have made the jokes.
They've
won nothing forever.
So it's the tradition to just watch Texas A&M melt down, usually way before this. Texas A&M doesn't win national championships, JJ. They're not even in conversations of legitimate bowl games, and yet here they are. And I know LSU is just LSU, but they still have a lot of talent on that team. And Texas A&M made them look pretty darn foolish the other night. And think about how stupid we are when it comes to the Heisman hype that people get, Garrett Nussmeier, who goes out of that game and you went, oh, his backup might actually be better than he is. It looks like he is. They might have a future with this freshman. And so watching how these teams walk out, the ACC champion is not going to be left out of the college football playoff. And this is a year that they might actually need to be. Now, it's not the way that it works.
It's not. Because
they get them in. But the ACC will have put in, think about what they put in last year, a 3-loss Clemson team.
Yeah.
And then
they got 2 teams in last year.
Yes, and then an SMU team who had no business being in the conference or being in the college football playoff.
BYU was better than SMU last year, and still, we know what happened. Ridiculous.
You could have said that they were actually better than even these Clemson last year. Right? Because
100%.
Clemson, they won their conference championship. Now, I'm looking at some of these college football playoff rankings and where teams are going to be, and I'm looking at Brad Crawford's, for example. He put together his prediction of just how this thing is going to get, or how this thing's going to shake out, okay? And I don't know what to think about it except for, and I can't be totally upset with it because when you watch what a team like, Vanderbilt going to overtime and getting the win, that's great for them. But I just nobody is convinced that Vanderbilt is built for the playoffs. All right. Brad Crawford's 4 teams out from for the college football playoff. The number 1 team out, the first team out is an 11-2 BYU team. So an 11-2 BYU team being out would mean what, JJ?
Big 12 championship game, another loss to Texas
and then they
Tech.
lose again to Texas Tech. Should that be enough to kick BYU out of that conversation of being – because then you're talking about 2 losses that were definitively better than the 2 losses that this team took last year.
Better than the 2 losses that Notre Dame will take. Better than the 3 losses that Texas may have taken and still got in.
Texas is in, according to this supposition.
Oh, they want it. They want it.
And
so
they have
bad.
them at 3 losses.
Yeah.
Getting it ahead of a 2-loss BYU team.
Well, it just means more.
How about a 2-loss Utah team? Also getting the stiff, the big old "you're not invited anymore." Okay. Like the reality is a 10-2 Utah team, and they're in the what he calls the not dead yet category. But they would be if you're the type of person that puts a 2 or 3. The thing is that Oregon could have easily lost that game this weekend and still been in the conversation, according to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Because we have a hard time not allowing brands that we prefer to be on that bracket to be there. Right? It's hard to get rid of those teams. So after this week of chaos, you're going to see another week of chaos. But we have 3 weeks left of the college football season. And then conference championship games. BYU, by the way, opened up 7.5-point favorites against TCU, if you're wondering. That seems like a little bit much.
No, it makes sense based on what TCU's doing currently. They're not playing good football.
TCU is not playing well. And that loss over the weekend, giving up 17 straight in the fourth quarter, not good against Iowa State. Who, man, I don't know what you would have thought about their season if they would have lost the 5th in a row.
Right.
Right? So, to me, the season keeps getting more interesting and more interesting, and yet it's this weird slow-motion car crash, JJ, to watch teams be eliminated from the college football playoff without actually getting a shot at being talked about as being a possible team in the college football playoff. And I'm talking about a 2nd and 3rd team out of the Big 12. There's no way that a 2-loss Utah team should be just dismissed wholly because of their 2 losses, if at that point are to BYU and Texas Tech. When you're talking about a team that brand-wise and performance-wise will have likely have rolled everybody. Now, they got to do it. They have to keep going. But I don't get the idea that teams Notre Dame can't lose another game because you can't make an argument for them. Texas can lose another game because somehow the argument will be made. Oklahoma is going to be in that same conversation, and so is Vanderbilt because of the conference that they're in. USC, JJ, is still getting pub.
I know.
It's hard.
They're lurking on the outside.
They really are.
Because they play Oregon. And if they beat Oregon, everybody around the country is going to make the case, well, I guess the big team, the 3rd team has stepped up in the Big Ten.
And that's hard.
And it's going to be USC. And then they vault USC up because they beat Oregon.
Yeah.
It just feels like they're waiting for some of these things to shake out. And it's not like, okay, well, Utah's at 13, so naturally if somebody in front of them loses, they move up. That's not actually the case. So you look at Oklahoma's schedule. They're at Alabama this weekend. They home against Missouri, LSU. They should probably take that 3rd L, right? Does that eliminate them from the college football playoff?
It should.
It probably won't.
It really should.
But what I see shaking out is, if Oregon is able to survive, then the Big Ten would get their 3, which is Ohio State, Ohio State, Indiana, and Oregon. And I think the Big Ten would be ticked off they didn't get a 4th. But there's no case for a 4th if Oregon wins out because USC would take another L. The SEC could possibly most likely have 5 in the playoff. 5 SEC teams are on track to make the playoff. Who are those teams? Texas A&M, Alabama, Georgia, and Ole Miss. 3 through 6 are all SEC teams. Who's the 5th? It's Texas. Everybody in that committee room, the media, all these people want Texas to be that team.
You heard.
They want Arch Manning in the playoff. They want Texas in the playoff.
Why?
And they're 1 spot away. They're 11th right now. Remember, an ACC team is going to be in and a group of 5. So basically, the top 10 as we see it right now is who's going to get in, unless there's an upset in a Big 12 championship game or whatever. Currently, BYU is in that mix. Tomorrow, we'll see where BYU lands. If BYU falls out of that top 10, Cougar fans start to get nervous.
And they should. History shows you that they would likely.
Will they drop BYU below Texas tomorrow night?
But if they lose to Texas, does it matter how they lose that game, by the way? Are we not having enough of a discussion about, and it's so stupid to have this weird.
Alabama got not just barely beat. Alabama got handled by Florida State.
But it was
happening
ages ago. It was ages ago, JJ, and they've grown up and they've learned so much since then.
Sure.
And they wrote that letter about how sorry they were for losing that game. It feels like they were you feel like you have to make a case in front of the judge, or like you're trying to get a scholarship at a school. Here are some of the awesome things that I did. And you have to make this stupid case for yourself when the reality is we know if you're good or not. But you might see some other people get put ahead of you because they know a guy in the admissions office. You know what I mean? That's what it feels like. It feels like that way because the reality is, do they have to do something even? What does BYU have to do in a game, in a conference championship game in Arlington against Texas Tech?
Win.
That's it?
Yes.
Because Texas Tech would probably get in, right? Still. Would Texas Tech get in if they lost to BYU?
With their resume and a second loss, I think if they're high up enough, they would have to take them. This is the scenario that plays out. If Texas Tech wins out but loses to BYU in the Big 12 championship game, you'd probably have a 1-loss BYU, a 2-loss Texas Tech, and a 2-loss Utah, all with a very good case to make the college football playoff. Now, does Texas take that fourth L? Because Texas,
I love how you have to negotiate a fourth loss for a team in the SEC.
The narrative is already forming.
Stupid.
The narrative is already forming, and plenty of national writers have already said this. If Texas Tech, look at their schedule. If Texas beats Georgia on the road, or not an and, but an or if they beat Texas A&M at home in the final week of the season and over Thanksgiving weekend, they'd only have 3 losses.
So Texas has to go to Georgia. They host Texas A&M.
And they have Arkansas in between.
Okay.
But with the 3 losses plus a win over either Texas A&M or Georgia, the resume states that Texas would be in. The SEC would get their 5th team.
Wouldn't it be fun if they beat Georgia, lose to Arkansas, and then beat Texas A&M? And then we all have to look at each other and go, what do you do with these freaking guys?
If you're the Big 12, you are rooting for a Notre Dame loss to Pitt.
And a 4th loss for Texas.
A 4th loss for Texas.
That is so dumb that you have to negotiate a 4th loss for Texas.
A 3rd loss for Oklahoma because Oklahoma does not have the schedule.
Look how stupid we are.
Unless Oklahoma wins at Alabama this weekend.
Look how dumb we are. We allow other people to make these decisions, and then they go. And then they have the freaking guts to tell us, we re-rank all these at the beginning of every week, y'all. No, you don't. That would be impossible because you'd go, oh, how many losses do they have? Oh, they're out. Oh, okay.
Well, if that's the case, then Oregon should drop.
I know because they would do it.
That was whatever that was a turd.
It was an 18-16 win over Iowa, thanks to a safety by the stupid punter, who usually wins games for Iowa. But it was not a good. I didn't like it at all. It was not good. And yet Dan Lanning escapes again. And that's fine. I think Oregon's a good team. If they went out, put them in there. A 2-loss Big Ten team, put them in there. But don't put a 3-loss SEC team in there who's been absolute trash.
They've already warned us about it. They already told us.
I love how you're all, now look, you're hoping for a Texas 4th loss. And you know what? Let's just make it an even 5. Just lose the rest of your games in your schedule. Then we know for sure the committee can't put you in. That's where we're at about talking about the stupid SEC. Man, don't you hate the South? Do you hate Texans? I guess technically I'm both of those things, but yeah, the self-loathing continues then. I can't stand the arguments that are already percolating on the back of the stupidity stove at the college football playoff. That's what they're doing. What do we tell them? Oh, look at their schedule. They got Texas back there cooking it up. Come on. I'll take a break. We'll come back. Got more to go on the program. We got tons to be able to chat about here still. Got the NFL Blitz around the corner, including some awesome weeks for our locals here in the NFL. On top of all that, also some movement in the NFL on the coaching front that is wild. Cannot wait to get to it. So we'll come right back. We got more to go. 97.5 BKSL Sports Zone.
All the latest news and notes from the league and the locals in the NFL. JJ and Alex bring you the NFL Blitz on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
All right, welcome back, everybody. JJ and Alex, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. You can nominate the youth sports volunteer that you know for the Hercules Hero of the Week program. Just submit that nomination at kslsports.com/contest, and then listen every Thursday. JJ and I read off a winner for you, and we celebrate the efforts of those volunteers who make an impact in their community with the Hercules Hero of the Week award, sponsored by Hercules First Federal Credit Union and Beehive Meals, from whom they get prizes. Both of those places contributing prizes. We love their participation in this whole thing. That music, of course, means one thing. Let's go over first the awesome locals in the NFL, JJ, who it just seems week after week, all these folks who you knew who prepped here or went to college here, even walked through the state at some point as a 14-year-old. We'll let that also slide as a local in the NFL.
If you transferred into Orem for a semester to play football, you're a local in the NFL. No, I'm just kidding. We don't do that. But the guys you know and love that went to an in-state school or grew up here playing high school football, like Caden Ellis, for example. Obviously the son of Luther Ellis, the legend. But he was a skinny quarterback at Judge Memorial back when I covered him in high school, and now look at him. He's a freak defensive end in the NFL, and he had a great game for the Falcons, 6 total tackles, a sack, a tackle for loss, broke up a key pass late in the game. Falcons didn't get the win, but Caden Ellis has been one of the best defensive players this year. And Tyler Algier on the other side for BYU. We all know his story. Mm-hmm. He set a new career high for touchdowns in a game with 2. 11 carries for 57 yards in that game in Berlin, where the Falcons came up short. We continue to watch Jackson Dart play really well, although and I don't know how much this factored into Daboll's dismissal, but this is the second time this year that Jackson Dart had to go into the tent, and this time he didn't come back in the game.
Oof.
You know, you've got him, and this is Jackson Dart's. This is a compliment to Jackson. He's just such a great athlete and so versatile. His ability to run is just, he's too effective at it to tell him not to do it, because it's one of the things that makes him great. But his passing's getting better. He's 19 of 29. I think 242 yards in that game was the most he's had this season as a pro. But again, 2 touchdowns on the ground. You live and die by that, and they died by it because he got hit late,
right, and
knocked him out of the game. So that's something that he's going to have to learn and figure out how to get down and get out of bounds. Cole Bishop had an interception, his second of the year. Dalton Schultz, how about that Texans comeback?
I was watching that entire.
I lost. I was on the Jags after they beat the Chiefs. They looked like they were going to give the Colts a challenge. Something's off there, right? That was bad.
There's the type of finger pointing that happens in a moment when you're down. Because what was it? Was it 34-10 when they started or what was it at the beginning of the fourth quarter? It
wasn't 34 because that's
where.
34.
No, it was 29-10. 29-10.
Yeah. Yes, that's correct.
29-10, and we're watching this thing, and my son and I are watching it, and it was kind of like, you know, you sit up a little bit and go, "Ooh, that's kind of fun." Hold on a minute. And then when Davis Mills runs that touchdown in, yeah, you heard me freaking right.
Davis Mills?
When Davis Mills runs that touchdown in, and they make it 20. Did they make it 29-29 with that?
Yeah.
And so they end up, it's tied, and you're like, holy cow, what is going to happen here? Now, you got Cam Little. You just have to get that thing to like the 30-yard, your own 30-yard line. He'll make an 80-yard field goal. Come on. Give the guy a shot. There was that little part of me that was like.
Well, they got to 30-29. I should correct that. 30-29. They took the lead on that, and then the Jags had 30 seconds left.
So they have 30 seconds left, and they legitimately start kind of marching a little bit. And really, you have the best kicker, arguably, in the history of the game because he owns the record that he put a week ago through the uprights. They'll let Cam Little try from 70. Heck, if they were down and they had a last shot, they'd let him try from 72, right? Like, which means all you have to do is get to the 41-yard line or whatever it is. Like, they'll have you try to kick from your own, 38 or whatever it is. So, but they just couldn't even do that. Flag, and then the the worst looking, most embarrassing pick six you've ever seen in your life to end the game. That was ugh. And they showed Liam Cohen and he's on the sideline, and boy, things have changed a lot. I mean, they were 15 minutes prior to that, they were on their way to 6-3 and easily leading that division. And instead, they end up 5-4 after 15 minutes, and it's done.
And now the Colts have a gap there.
2 games or 3 games now.
Yeah. And the Jags look like a team that could miss the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, why would you suddenly start believing in them? They can't. Their defense
was a
looked bad.
bad loss.
Yeah, terrible. But you know what? We've gotten 2 of these now in the last 3 weeks with the Broncos and with these guys. That was like you never saw comebacks like that in the NFL ever, and we've gotten 2 of them in the past 3 weeks. Crazy. Let me see here.
Yeah, 29 points in the fourth quarter is insane.
How many did your Broncos score?
Was it 26?
How many did your Broncos score?
30. What am I?
Same thing.
Yeah.
Same thing though. Ridiculous. So anyway, let me see what else we have here. Oh, by the way, the Giants have fired Brian Daboll. And I don't know how long.
Yeah, it was 33, by the way, the Broncos side.
33 in the fourth.
33.
I don't know how long Joe Schoen has as the GM at the Giants, but Brian Daboll getting fired. This is tough. And I think Sly.
I think Shane's job is going to be fine because they have the personnel.
Yeah.
When you look at the Scattaboo was emerging before he broke his leg. Obviously, Jackson Dart is the guy at quarterback.
When you interview.
They got a lot of pieces. Their pass rush is great. Their defense is good.
When you interview for this job, and they ask you, what are you going to do with Jackson Dart? What do they want to hear as an organization?
That he's not going to get hurt.
Right, but I mean,
every time he touches the football.
But at the same time, is it beneficial for the guy to come in and go, well, yeah, I mean, I didn't draft him, but yeah, I think he looks talented. Or do they want to hear he's going to be the future and I'll make him I'll make him the future?
That's exactly what they want.
I hope
it's clear
so.
to everybody that Jackson Dart is a franchise-level quarterback at this age.
Yeah.
It's clear. He's been terrific.
He looked good, and if he goes out of that game.
The way the team responds to him, the way the fans have responded to him, the production, he's the guy. So go find a head coach that's going to get the most out of your guy. Makes sense to me.
Brian Daboll, 11-33 as a head coach for the New York Giants.
Some great coordinators just aren't meant to be coaches, and he's one of them.
He is a phenomenal coordinator, which means, of course, in the NFL, even if he wasn't a good coordinator, he'd still have a job in 10 minutes.
Sure.
But he's a great coordinator, and all the players who play for Brian Daboll like him. You know, they like this guy.
He's tough.
That's what's hard.
Fair.
That's what's hard about this is that there are guys that get fired, and the players don't like him, and they're like, good. But, I mean, ultimately, no player likes to be losing like they are. What are they, 2-8 this year?
Yeah.
And they've been 2-8 the last 3 seasons.
4 blown leads.
Yeah,
Their record should be flipped.
I think losing to the Bears is especially poignant, right? Like,
yeah, that was bad.
You look and you go, ooh.
That was it. That was the last one. That was the last. I mean, the 33-point comeback allowed to the Broncos. The Cowboys let the Cowboys come back late. Remember that one? There's a list of them. They're bad. The Commanders. Remember that one?
Was he the one who? But when did Daniel Jones leave? When did he?
2 years. 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Remember the last year they had like a piecemeal. Who did they have last year?
Oh,
I don't even remember. They were bad though.
Oh, was it my guy Drew Lock? wasn't that our dude?
Something like that.
So, in the end, Brian Daboll goes out, and Sly pointed this out in our chat group that we have. He goes, does he get fired if Daniel Jones isn't having the success that he's having at Indianapolis? It's a great point.
It made it worse for sure.
It definitely did not look good.
There's so many things stacked against Brian Daboll at this point.
But
that
some of
they
them
had
are
no choice.
But some of them are poor decisions by the front office too. Like everybody knows that Saquon Barkley could have come to the Giants or could have stayed at the Giants. They could have stayed there. He could have stayed there. They could have made this work. And instead, he's winning divisions across town in Philadelphia. Anyway, I didn't hate Brian Daboll though. I thought he was kind of interesting dude.
Didn't get it done.
Obviously,
and he wasn't. It was obvious he wasn't going to be the guy.
He's
moving
20 and
40
as a head coach. 20 and 40.
So back real quick.
Just 11-33 for the past 3 seasons.
Daniel Jones actually played 10 games for the Giants last year. Remember they cut him.
Oh yeah.
And then had Drew Lock, and then Tommy DeVito.
Tommy Cutlets.
That's how Tommy Cutlets started. So that's what they had last year. Which all of it led to a 3-14 season.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, and they're on their way to that too, depending on what it's going to look like.
But you're going to add another top 5 pick to that roster already?
Yeah, it's tough.
They're good. The Giants have talent.
I hope they can figure it out.
They're in a much better place than their friends at MetLife Stadium, the New York Jets, who are. Ugh.
Gronk is going to sign a one-day contract to retire a Patriot. So does that mean like whatever your last team was? So technically he's a Buccaneer according to the league. Is that what's going on?
I have no idea.
On
why
their
the guys
vested.
do this. I don't know.
I think it's to have
Whatever.
a little. I think it's to have a little ceremony.
It's a nice gesture because it's where you were the star, where you're the man.
Did you see Dave Portnoy in the Robert Kraft box?
Yes, I did.
I could have gone without that my whole Sunday. The Patriots are back, baby! Oh, and the Bills are down
pizza
40.
did they have?
Hey.
One bite in the
One bite
booth up there?
in the booth. I guarantee it was terrible. But he had to tell Robert Kraft.
Hey, Robert, you got to try this slice.
It's really good. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back. We have a Sucks to Be You next. People who it currently sucks to be. Plus our Rocky Mountain Chevy Dealers play of the weekend. If you can remember what it is, I've got a phone number for you to call. You just have to tune in next right here, 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
Basking in the sports misfortune of others to help make you feel just a little bit better about yourself. As JJ and Alex present,
Yes, we got beat. We got beat badly.
It Sucks to Be You.
All right, you were probably tuned in for DJ and PK this morning when they were giving out their Rocky Mountain Chevy Dealers play of the weekend. They choose a MVP caliber moment from the weekend. And weekends like this, there's a lot of them. So they chose one. If you were listening and you could tell us what that game or what that play was, you can win yourself a little gift card from us, courtesy of the folks at the Rocky Mountain Chevy Dealers. And it's an Amazon gift card, which this time of year, I think we know, is a pretty big deal. All right, so here's what we got. A clue from our producer, Alex Napolis. Any clues for today's play, brother?
This is our blank. This is our blank.
You blanked out the word team, just in case. Oh, the word team was blanked out. Oh! Here's what we've got. That you got the
Do I dare do another one?
No.
No.
Wait. Is it too easy then?
Yay or nay?
Okay. I don't hate it.
Okay.
I love it. Oh my gosh. No, that one we didn't need at all.
Did we tell people to try to hurt Aaron Rodgers?
801-575-ZONE. That's 801-575-ZONE. 801-575-9663. Tell us what the Rocky Mountain Chevy Dealers play of the weekend was. You get yourself a prize, courtesy of the Rocky Mountain Chevy Dealers, America's fastest growing full line brand. All right. 801-575-ZONE. All right. Sucks to be these people. Sucks to be the entire ACC. How about Louisville going down? How about Virginia going down?
Sucks to be you.
Really sucks to be TCU, who was up 17-3 at the start of that fourth quarter against Iowa State. TCU has gone a weird direction this year, and it's not in the direction of winning. I don't know what it is that Sonny Dykes has to do, but I called TCU as being one of these dark horse teams that could win the Big 12 this year. Why not? I mean, in a year where Cincinnati's doing well, in a year where
I didn't think it was crazy what you
Utah
said.
turned it all back around, and
I could have made the same case.
well, we talked about Baylor and TCU being those teams. You go, watch out for these guys. They got a phenomenal quarterbacks, and you know what's funny? They still do.
And they're still
They
mid.
still can't freaking win though.
Yeah.
They lose to Iowa State, and they've all but punched their ticket to
Mediocrity.
a mid bowl, right?
Yeah.
But now they come to. But again, that might be a more dangerous situation here because TCU now they look around and they go, "Hey, we got nothing to do except for ruin your season."
Do you know who has a lot of confidence against BYU?
TCU always.
Josh Hoover.
Oh, for sure. For sure. That guy put up, as a freshman, he put up 400-something yards against them. Beat him 44-11.
I know it's a different BYU team, but he's not going to come in here feeling like he can't win that game.
Yeah,
Because he's done it before.
Sucks to be the Big Ten who can't figure out how to police their own referees and uniform botches, and they say that USC should have been penalized for their fake punt that they pulled against Who they played a bad team. Who did they pull a fake punt against on? Gosh darn it! Oh, it was against Northwestern.
Yeah, Northwestern. Sorry, on a Friday night.
But I think I think the game was 17-17 at that point.
Yeah,
which was kind of interesting.
They won 38-17, but it was close.
Yeah, so it was close at one point. But they had their third string quarterback wear the punter's jersey.
That's right.
That was Sam Hewitt who threw the ball.
Yeah, it was.
He's wearing the number 80 out there, and they should have declared that he changed numbers. That was the whole point. They would have been penalized for it. Instead, they converted on a fourth down. It wasn't even that impressive of a conversion, by the way. It was like, oh, they gained 9 yards when they needed 7. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it kept them going, and there you go. And then Washington losing to Wisconsin is about as bad as it gets for – did you already see – I saw a story that Jed Fish wants out at Washington. Did you see that?
I don't know if those rumors are true or not.
I never know that either.
That would be weird, but –
Artie wants to get out of the place that he left, the place that he said he never wanted to leave either. We've seen stranger things, right?
Yeah, for sure. But Washington was a team that people were talking about as a dark horse Big Ten. Who's that fourth team that the Big Ten's going to get in the playoff? Washington was among those discussed, but that's not going to happen. 6 losses in a row for Wisconsin, snapped by beating Washington.
So was that their first Big Ten win, by the way?
I'll look at the standings real quick. That's a great
I know
question.
that we were looking, but you were telling me we had a year where Wisconsin, Penn State, and
yes, it was.
And Michigan State combined to be 0-18 or 0-17 before this last weekend.
Yeah, exactly.
Their leading passer was their punter.
I saw this, and they still freaking beat the Huskies.
Yeah. Sucks to be Washington right now. That was a bad loss.
All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back. Did somebody get the thing? Wow. This is our Colts.
This is our team. We love them for the shoe. Don't know the rest of it.
No, we know. What did you say? This guy is of. Hold on.
This is our Colts. This is our team.
Okay, do the little
We
thing.
bleed
Boom.
blue.
Got it.
This is our
Okay,
Colts.
do the heart.
Whether win or lose.
We love you.
We love them. For the shoe. Beat the Titans. Hey, Cam Ward. Woo! This is our team. Go Colts.
Making bronies cool again. There you go. All right. Oh, my gosh. It's so stupid. Hey, on Wednesday, JJ and I are going to be out at RGS Exteriors from 3 to 6 all day long. Check us out right there during our program at RGS. Tim Jr. and his guys are going to be hanging out with us out there at RGS Exteriors in West Jordan. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We've got sound from the University of Utah, some takeaways from Kyle Whittingham's Baylor press conference right around the corner, 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.